Hey, who'd you talk to? What's going on? It is me. Mike Lepre, King Michael. This is Legit Paranormal, brought to you by legitpodcast.com. It's December 5th, 2021. 20 days away from Christmas. If you're a parent and you have your kid not believe in Christmas, teach your kid how to shut his mouth. Joining me, as always, the genius Kev. What's going on, Kev?
Hey, what's up, King? I missed the show last week. I wasn't feeling well, so I'm ready. I'm prepared for the guest. I'm ready to talk, get deep into a little bit of hypnosis, all that kind of stuff. So
oh yeah, I'm gonna get to that in a minute about the guest. So all right? I'm gonna bring Buddy in, but I got this. We'll be all right. Joining us as always is Buddy. Buddy, how are you doing tonight?
I'm getting excited. I'm getting hypnotized by my beer, Mike. This week it's been a lovely week. I jumped back on the diet train. I went to see a nutritionist. I'm doing what is that called? CrossFit next week. Jesus Christ, I'm a fat kid starting CrossFit. But the one great thing I learned this week is if I control what I eat, I can have more beers. So that leads me to tonight's beer of the week. It's Thunderlust. It's by a lovely little brewery down by URI. Called Shades On, kind of like a funny way to see how they spell that, Shades On. And it's an 8%. It's a double IPA. It's made with Eldorado and Citra hops. It's double dry hops. It's fucking delicious. And I'm very excited to be drinking that this week.
Yeah, the Dolphins, my ass. Like one bad franchise beats another.
Right.
Kev, tonight I'm doing Corona. I just drank the tequila out of the neck, so that's gone. So here's a funny thing. Last week, right, we had kind of an issue with our guest. I mean, we didn't have the issue.
I had no issue.
He started saying, I'm not an asshole. I don't want everyone to think I'm an asshole. I'm not an asshole. And by the fourth time you say that, take a guess. So, we made amends because he works, I guess, the same booking agency as the next guest. So, we made amends. We patched it up. Everything should be good. So, joining us now is Leslie Mitchell Clarke. Leslie? Leslie?
Ooh.
Kev, have you seen Leslie?
I have not.
Buddy, were you supposed to pick?
I emailed her. I gave her the link. Most people just click the link and here they are. But here she's not.
Wait a minute. This might be connected. You know why, Kev? They work for the same booking person.
Uh-oh.
And the other person, didn't like us and then ended up looking really pompous and then chugged half a 2-liter bottle of Coke. I don't know if he was staring at me or not. I was loving every minute of it. But you think he might have said something to the agent and then that's why she's not joining us tonight?
So fuck those guys.
How do you feel, Kev?
I don't know. It doesn't. Something sounds a little bit off. I wasn't on last week's show, but your theory is definitely plausible. Let's put it that way.
Buddy, your thoughts on my theory?
He was really pissy throughout the last quarter of the show because we were basically just kind of laughing at him. And not laughing at him, we were laughing kind of with him, but he wasn't really laughing. But then usually after the show, we usually converse with the guest for a little while about how it was and blah, 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 how things flowed. And he immediately signed off. He X'd us immediately. So I'm right there, that was a sign that maybe he didn't like us. I don't know.
Yeah, I get a feeling he didn't like us, Kev. So, what we're going to do for our show is simply this. Buddy, we are very close to our 1-year anniversary here at Legit Paranormal because I passed the 1-year anniversary of Legit Fantasy
Less than a month away.
So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little walk through memory lane of legit paranormal and what we've kind of learned and like the different things that we've seen. It'll be a nice rewind best of sessions. Let us start with the Uss Salem and explain how we ended up there and what we thought of it. You don't have to touch on it too heavily, buddy. I know you're going to have a reveal show, but maybe you can just give us a little bit of what you heard and what you caught, because it was you, Joey Paranormal, myself, Nicole, Kev, and his 2 daughters, right?
Yep. Dale and Charles and other members of Uss Paranormal. And then you came with a friend too, didn't you? Yeah. So anyway, we broke up into 2 groups, essentially 4 or 5 people in each group, maybe a little bit more.
Wait, explain this boat first. Explain this ship first.
The ship is easily 100 yards long, easily, if not longer. Several decks down. We went about 2 decks down. A lot of the activity on the beginning, the first deck, as soon as you walk down, that great area that we all met in, we all kind of did things. And as we were running wires, as we were setting up cameras, I get that uneasy feeling down the end of the main hallway. The further I got down the end of that hallway, the more uneasy I felt. So I came back down. I was going through some wires, going through some stuff, pretending to. And, oh, Charles, you're going down that way? Oh, come on, I'll walk with you. Come on. And just to make sure I had somebody with me, because it did not feel right. And sure enough, in that very area of the ship, that area and the exact opposite area is where we caught probably the most evidence, audio-wise. There was a man came through very clearly down the end in what's known as the chief's room. I believe they call it the chief's room because the chief, or who they call the spirit they call the chief, hangs out down there. And there was a very prevalent male voice. He gave what we believe at Ocean State Paranormal. We're not going to give any names now, but we believe was the name of somebody that was with us that evening. First and last name. Gave first names. I asked for the spirit. You were talking about how you thought the spirit was hiding in the alcove because it was dark. It was at the end of the room, and clear as I'm like, spirit, is that where you are? Where are you? Clear as day. There's a male voice right next to you. Like we were listening. Oh my God! It's just like that eerie, creepy. Then down the other end, you got a lot of that little.
What did he say to me? What did he say to me first?
He was just kind of talking in general.
Was he upset that I just walked right to where I thought he would be?
He didn't really say, but the fact that he said, I'm right next to you, that just it creeps me out because that's who I assume he was talking to because it was very loud. It was not loud, but I mean, it was like, it sounded like he was closer to me than you were. So
all right, wait. So I kind of remember that because what I keep telling you guys about that trip was the need to stare, and I can't explain that. And buddy, you were with me the whole night, so you understood how I was.
I appreciated how you and Nicole relied heavily on intuition, and you went by feeling, and that's what guided you. I appreciate that. That's not something I expected, to be honest with you. So that was kind of cool.
I wasn't scared. I wasn't scared once, to be honest. Like even if it didn't sound right, I wasn't scared of it. It was a weird vibe on that boat.
It was definitely different. It definitely felt different for me. I can't speak for everybody else. I can't say that was a general feeling, but it was definitely. In some areas, I was absolutely anxious and nervous and not fearful, just like anxious. I'm not an anxious person at all. I have zero anxiety in my life.
Well, that chief's room was the toughest room to be in.
Yeah, the chief's room was really difficult to.
It was tough to breathe.
I feel like I'm being watched the whole time. Every hair on my body stood straight up. Just that uneasy feeling.
Now, again, this is the Uss Salem. It's in what city is it?
It's in Quincy, Massachusetts. It's docked in the Fore River, Fore.
It was in what? Views of Vietnam, and
it was used from just after World War II. It was commissioned, and then it ran through most of the 60s. It was a hospital ship. It was the flagship of the fleet for a while. It was stationed in Greece. It held the prince and the princess, I believe, of Greece, toured around on the boat for a while. A few people died, but not.
Yeah. I think also there was an earthquake in Greece while it was there. there, and it served as a hospital ship. So they were taking like just Greek citizens onto the ship for care, and then like obviously ferrying them off. So I think that is something to do with some of the stuff that you see on there.
So when we're near the engine room, the issue was the little girl's voice, right?
Got a lot of that, yeah.
We actually had some people say they heard it.
With
they could
their
actually
own
hear
ears.
it. Yeah, their own ears. Did you catch that?
I've been on various investigations, especially Fort Adams. I'll talk about that in a bit, where we're hearing things with our own ears, and not just like afterwards, not just in the recordings, but in the moment. And it's really, especially at Fort Adams, such a large area, and knowing that there's nobody remotely close enough to you to make that such a clear voice. It's happened to me before in other places. It doesn't always happen like that, but it's definitely eerie when it happens. It definitely makes it when you turn around expecting to see a person standing behind you. There's nobody for ever. You look all around. There's nobody for miles. It's weird.
All right, I want to know is you caught the little girl's voice. Did you catch? All right, you said they said someone's name. I would like to say that if it was either Kev or I, you should let us know. We've wanted to know for a long time. We're sitting here asking you on.
I'm not gonna. All right, listen.
Because is it me? And I just feel like it is. Because
I understand.
I feel like he's messing with me, Kev.
We're not 100% on what we all seem to believe it's this. It hasn't gone through the last
let's hear it.
Of speculation and analyzation yet, but
okay, let's hear it.
It's definitely one of your two names. Yes.
What is it? What do they say? Come on, I need to hear this. Come on, you just tell the name. You can say. I mean, come on, we waited a long time. It's been a long time.
We think it says Lepre.
Really?
Yeah.
My last name.
Your last name, and that's in the Chiefs room.
He called me out.
It's It's a man's voice saying it. It's pretty clear. We
saying it matter of factly.
It's Lepre.
I got a very important question.
The guy who doesn't want to be known at all to these entities, and they're calling you out by name, Mike. I had my name said. We had Joe. We had Charles. There were a number of people who had their names.
All right, but listen, this is important. Did he say it like as if I asked him if he knew who I was, or did he say like?
I think we were just talking, and it wasn't even regarding what we were saying. It just came out Lepre. Like you say, they're in a different dimension, if you believe that, or they're on some kind of different scale. And
yeah, but buddy, I was talking shit in my head to them when I would go in their areas. I was like Conor McGregor, like going into their areas. I was like, I heard you like this, you heard you like that, I heard you like this, heard you like that, whatever. I kept saying whatever, you're not welcome to come anywhere with me
they can
whatever. And I think I actually asked that guy, like, yeah, I know who you are. Do you know who I am? I think when I said that in my head, that's how crazy I am. So if he said my name back, that's even spookier.
Yeah, it's always spooky when they say your name.
So wait a minute. So they said it there, and then the other guy was standing next to me. Is that where there was like a staircase that went down, and it was like where was the one where the other guy said he was right next to me? Where was that?
That was me. He said he's right. You were in that same room in the Chiefs room. You guys were over there where the REM pod was on the floor, and you, Joe, and Nicole were standing over there, and you had this feeling like it was in that room. And I'm like, Spirit, is that where you are? Are you in that room? Where are you right now, Spirit? And it's a man's voice right next to you. It's so weird. I got the notebook. Oh, we had somewhere. I'd have to dig it up. But yeah, it's I'm meeting with Ocean State Paranormal next week, and we hope to bang out the end of the Salem and a residential case. So,
are you going to put that together though? That whole trip, because that's
yeah, I want to do that.
And we got a lot of stuff.
Joe's doing a YouTube channel, and that's going to be the first Ocean State Paranormal episode. Would be Fort Adams, but I'll put together what we have from the Salem, and I'll put it.
You mean the Ocean State Paranormal channel that'll be also on legitpodcast.com?
Probably, yeah. There you go.
We platform everybody, Kev. It goes
right and again,
channel anyways. right?
It just never like I was expecting not much. I don't know. When we went to Fort Adams, I've been there myself hundreds of times. I've never been inside, but we got activity. I got activity. I went 2 weeks in a row. 2 weekends in a row. The first weekend was a little bit, and the second weekend was like whoa. So sometimes it's like the weather. It always changes. You never know what you're gonna get.
All right. Let's
Wait,
talk about the other thing.
but I want to ask a question about the Salem stuff. So, like, how many people were recording?
Okay, so when it was in our group, I had a recorder on me. Joe was always recording with video, and he had his audio piece with him. So
It was like,
in your group, it would have been Dale, Jim, and Charles would have had a recorder.
okay, so there's like 4 or 5, possibly 6 different audio sources. So, what do you guys do? You go through all of them and like you
We
try to
generally
see.
review our own,
Yeah.
and we make notations of the ones that stick out or the ones we think of something, and we review them. Honestly, 9 out of 10 of them, they're like, oh, this is somebody breathing, this is somebody farting, this is somebody laughing, they laugh me out. They're like, there's nothing here. But then every now and again, it's like, bam, it's like, oh my god, and it's like a clear voice. And when I initially play something for the group, whether it be with headphones or whether it be with a speaker, I won't say, I try not to say what I think it says, because I don't put that in their head. Let them hear it a few times, and then we talk and we say what we think it says. And honestly, if like more than 2 people agree with me, what I thought it was saying, then I lean towards that. I present it as, this is what we think it might be saying. We think it might be this. We think it might be that. I can't say it's like the spirit of like my dead grandmother coming through to talk to me. I can't.
Buddy, how was your reaction when you heard my last name? Was it like, whoop? Or did it not sound like
honestly, I laughed quite hard because I know that you didn't want any interaction. You were like, stay the hell away from me. I don't want you to attach to me. The fact that they're saying your name, not only your name, but your last name, that you didn't really, you said my name's Mike, but I don't remember.
No, I would tell people, I told every single, dude, I don't know what it was. I would walk into a room. In certain rooms, I felt like I had to stop and stand and hold my ground. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, because I am a little crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's the truth. Like, I got into a couple of rooms, and I felt like I was almost like I had to stare somebody to acknowledge them, to say, okay, you're you, but I'm me. Nothing's going to happen. Like, that's what I was kind of saying in my own jerky sort of way.
Mm-hmm.
I was almost being tough in a weird, messed up sort of way. I was trying to hold my ground. So for it to say my name meant it knew I was trying to hold my ground and not let it come near me. But
or recognize you, or just was able to.
I don't mind. I kept saying my name to it.
That ESP communication that you have, I don't know.
That's weird. I want to hear this now, because if I hear it and it sounds Italian, I know it's gonna be one of you guys. It's not gonna be a ghost. I'll figure that out in a minute, right? Leopard guy. That's not a ghost.
All I'll say, buddy. So I want to ask a couple more questions. So, so everyone goes through, I guess, listens to their own audio or video, and then whatever you think you may have found, you.
I mean, at times, don't get me wrong. At times, I'll give stuff to Dale.
Yeah.
He'll give stuff to me. I'll give it to Joe. Whoever has like more time, because everybody.
Yeah.
You know.
But there's like one person that goes through each one of the things, and then if they find something, then you bring the group together and you guys talk about it, try to figure out if it's something like legit and worth investigating further.
Right, or it might be a piece of data that we happen to collect while in the field while investigating. I don't like to say I've been talked out of saying the word evidence. That is not 100%. This is just data that we happen to believe that might be paranormal in nature.
Okay. And then once you get it all together, then you guys kind of have like what the stuff you'll stand behind and like the stuff that might be questionable.
We go through it a few more times and see what we can really because you're presenting. Normally, I present to. We do a lot of residential cases, so when I present to somebody in their home, I want to be 100% sure that it's either A or B and it's not like anything else. And if I can't say otherwise, this is what we collected. This is what we found. I'm not going to say it's I'm not going to say it's negative, obviously.
Just say it's evidence. Can you just say it's evidence? You just acted like evidence was like a class of people. You were afraid to say the name. Well, I can't. It's like paranormal things that happen that might show proof.
All right, it's evidence. All right, we'll say it's evidence. What we believe might be evidence of unexplained phenomena, of spiritual activity, of whatever you want to call it. Okay.
No.
So where was I going? I don't know.
No. So that's your question. Okay, so you put it all together, and so that's what's going on with the Salem stuff. And so then you were transitioning over to Fort Adams, but I just kind of wanted to understand like what the process was and how you guys like.
All right, so like a residential case, I try and prioritize. Like it's a family involved, or there's like you hear like the kids are involved on TV, which is a big thing because it's scary as hell when you're an adult, not to mention when you're a kid. So try to do that as quickly as possible, and as thoroughly as possible at the same time. I got one that we investigated a few months ago on in the field, and I've been in with the psychic. I've been in 3 or 4 times. We've been into this house, and we got several pieces of really good data, and I just wanted to narrow it down to one person. And I think I know who that person was based on evidence that we've collected, evidence that came through with the medium, Deb Perillo, evidence that came through research and whatnot, and I can whittle it down to, I believe, with one person. Evidence from, not evidence, but witness statements from the people who've seen apparitions in their house, how the person was dressed, how the person looked. It just looks like somebody from that time period, you know?
Okay, cool.
All right, so secondly, the other thing of note that happened this year would be, I'll go over it one more time, was the ghost, you guys call it a ghost box.
That was Kevin Hart, by the way. That was our...
Kevin Hart, yes.
Like our 6th or 7th episode. That was in early March.
And what do you call it?
It's a spirit box.
Well,
and I call it an amp that just keeps skipping channels.
So
guitar amp.
It's a modified radio that skips channels. Yeah, it does it at whatever speed you want to set it at. It will go FM. It will do AM. It will do both. It will go forward and backward. I like to go backwards because if you hear an audio, if you're hearing radio, if you're hearing it come out backwards, I mean, it's no, I don't know, but it's just it seems to credit it a little bit more. Anyway, we were in the drill hall of the Varnum Memorial Armory. We had it running all night. The whole show it ran almost. I think it was like at the 51-minute mark. And while I've investigated Varnum, whether it be public investigations or bigger events, or just us, or just me and Joe, or whatever, dozens of times, and we had all sorts of evidence, all sorts of activity throughout the whole building. A lot of it has happened in that drill hall where we were. So we were targeting one person who was the curator of that building for 34 years. 2012, he lived in the back of the building. He had an apartment in the back of the drill hall. His name was Major Jim Wilson. He was actually a sergeant in the Army, but he was like with the Continentals, and it was like called Major Jim Wilson. He was there forever. He got really possessive and of the Armory and of the Armory artifacts and the Armory itself. They kind of kicked him out in 2012. He went and he lived in some retirement facility in Warwick, and he died later that year. He's buried right up the road in East Greenwich, right at the main cemetery there. But anyway, I was talking to Major Jim Wilson about the changes and the improvements that have been made to the museum by the current curator, by the current vice president of Varnum's, Patrick Donovan. And do you like what Patrick and Tim have done here? And we have a male voice that comes through. Absolutely. And you've talked about it as being almost a nostalgic 1950s. Absolutely. And that's the generation that this man came from. So
this is true. We do have this episode. We do wait 51 minutes. Kevin and I are firmly entrenched in the belief that it's just not going to happen, and this is going to be great that it's not going to happen. And then you asked that question, and we definitely heard absolutely. And then we had a question, you guys. We thought you guys were messing with this, and then it still exists. Like, you can go back and watch that show, and it still gives me the creeps when I hear the word come out, because I don't know. I was messing with this. I was waiting for.
And again, you gotta imagine that the spirit box is running through 5, 6, 7 different channels in this time period, and one voice is saying absolutely through 7 different radio stations, almost simultaneously, to create that one word as you're scanning through. It just, honestly, for me, it doesn't make any other sense than it's a spirit communicating through radio waves.
All right. Another thing I want to mention is early on, Kev, we had Chris DeCesare.
Oh yeah.
That was a story that, like, here's how I want to paint the picture of how we ended up with that one. Kev, he starts into that story, and me and you were like, that's it, just like this, Kev.
Yeah.
Because he has such a story. There's so many, and the way he tells it, because he's told it so many times, he's got it down. The ups and the downs, the craziness of it, the madness of him dealing with a ghost, right? And it's what's funny is if you go back, is that Chris is such a great guy that he never took offense to us breaking his balls or turning like something he said into a joke. Do you know what I mean? Like he was like at one point he said that like the ghost had him pinned to the bed. Yeah. And I actually said back, Chris, are you sure it wasn't a girl ghost? Right? And he laughed. He took it in stride, and he was funnier than he got funnier. Like he was one of my favorite guests early on. Kev, what did you think of like his?
Oh, he was great because he was like a pro. Like he could kind of handle the back and forth, the joking around. Like, and he stayed on time, and he got through the whole thing. And like that story is still one of the scariest ones because it went on for so long, and it affected his mental health really badly. Like you've been to college, and like you think of this kid who's in his dorm room, like just messed up out of his mind, and he's not doing track anymore. I think that he was there for athletics. I think it was track and field or cross country or something. He's not doing that anymore. He's not talking to his friends. Everyone's worried about him. And like then at the end where he has like that confrontation in the shower where he gets scratched, like he really had it all down perfectly. It was one of the scariest stories we've heard. And then like as he does the research and you think they might know who it was, like that one, I can't believe we did that so early. Because it was like I don't think we knew how great of a guest he was going to be, and we may not appreciate him as much as we would if we had him now, because that was just phenomenal. So
it's the truth, buddy. What do you think of him,
Chris? I have seen Chris DeCesare at 12 to 15 different Paracons. He's been at the same one I've been at, and I always catch his lecture every single time. Even though I've heard his story, I've read his book a million times, and you always get something new out of it, either by the way he tells it or a fact that you didn't pick up on before because you're so mind blown.
Can I give you an idea? Can I give you an idea?
The fact that he documented everything at that age.
Wait. Ask Chris DeCesare if at the next Paracon he wants us to do his act. We'll do the whole shtick. We'll do the whole thing. Me and Kev.
You can be you had that wonderful shower story.
Yeah.
As well. Yeah. People told me about for weeks after about you and the elderly people in the shower at North Providence High School. I just think it's so fucking hilarious.
Yeah, awful. But the other thing with Chris that story that really got to me was when his father drove up just to like spend the night so Chris could get like one good night's sleep. And his father had like a gun with him, and there's like he's seeing something in the closet that he wouldn't tell Chris about until after the fact. And he's kind of like, "You got to deal with this, or you got to get out of here." Like that whole like it's funny. Like I didn't review the notes on the story. This is all just what I remember from that one conversation. And like that's just seared into my memory. Like the way he told it and all the different things, and like
the down to earth guy too. You know.
Yeah. How far down it went.
He's not like these authors with that big heads from last week.
So wait, paranormal, right? Paranormal. You think paranormal? For some reason, there's one story that sticks out for me this last year. It happened somewhat recently that blows everything else I've heard away. Easy. And that's so this guest broke up with this girl.
I knew it.
And prior to breaking up with this girl, they all agreed to go to the same like resort, or I don't know what do you want to call it, cabin. I don't know what it was, but anyways, he was like she ended up getting engaged or married like pretty quickly, I guess, after they broke up. Must have been cheating on him, I guess. That's what Kev said. Then they all go to Kev's always gets blamed for everything. I just throw to Kev. So they all go to this cabin or whatever it is, and that girl, his ex girl, does show up. and she shows up with her boyfriend, and he's supposed to be this guy who's big. He immediately takes off his shirt, so it's gonna be someplace warm, right? Unless he's one of those polar bears. And he's shirtless, and he's walking around, he's doing everything shirtless. So they make a big bowl of stew, right? For everybody there. It's a community stew. It'll feed them, for a couple of days or whatnot. My man, the big guy, who's now with that guy's a girl, takes a bowl of stew, eats all the stew, potatoes out of it, takes the broth that's left, goes back to the bowl of stew, pours it in the stew. I asked him, what did you do? He was like, well, what am I going to do? I mean, like, what do you mean, what are you going to do? In my head, I'm thinking of like 20 different things he could have done. Smack him with your bowl. Stab him with your fork or spoon. Like, how do you let somebody just pour their remaining stew back into the community pot and not have issue with that? Wait, let's start with Kev. Kev, could that ever happen in your presence?
That was one of the worst things I've ever heard, because I eat soup at least twice a day, and just hearing that it killed me. The whole story is awful, but I tell that story to people. Nobody knows how to react, because no one's ever heard it before. Like, it's one of these truth is stranger than fiction things. If you saw that in a movie, you'd probably laugh, but like, who would do that in real life? Disgusting.
Funny thing is, because it's about stew, you lose people while you're telling to them. They stop zoning out. But the minute you say he poured it back into the community bowl, they all go, what do you do with the stew? And you have to repeat yourself because they weren't really paying attention. But then when they realize that, they're like, oh, that can never happen, buddy. Did you ever let that happen?
I've done some awful things when I worked in kitchens, but I don't know if I would do that.
No, I'm saying, like, see, the three of us, we brought a couple other guys, and like Joey Paranormal takes his bowl that's left of just stew.
I'd probably yell at him before he did it and slap him later. But Joe, no, Joe.
All right, but once he did it, you wouldn't say something or smack him with the bowl.
Like, what are you doing, guy? What why would you do that? I would I would chastise him verbally.
Okay.
And tongue lash him, if you will.
All right, I appreciate that.
Like, what did you just do?
Yeah. Speaking about weird things, how about this? Say in the middle of the night, I call Kev and I say, "Hey, Kev, it's Mike." Kev goes, "Hey, Mike, it's Kev," and I'm like, "Hey, I said that already." So then I go, I found this doll, right?
Wait. You didn't find the doll. There's a crack house on your street that you're kind of interfering with a little bit, and they might be from this, like, the New Orleans area, like Louisiana area. Now go on.
Wow, you threw crack in there pretty fast, but okay. So say I'm in a crack area, meth, crank, crock. I don't know. I'm making stuff up now, but whatever. And the guy goes, "Hey, I found this doll, and it's like really old and really scary looking, and it's got a noose around its neck.
Oh,
yeah,
and it's haunted pretty much. And that noose holds in the curse or spirit, right, Kevin?
Well, see, you don't know this stuff yet. It's in your pickup truck. It's in the back of your. You know what? Yeah, and you say, Kevin, do you like? You tell me about it, and I say, hold on, Mike, I'm driving over. I want this doll. No, never.
No. But how is it offered? Like, hey, man, I got this doll. It's cursed. Noose around the neck. You want to come? Want me to drop it off? Or you want to come pick it up? Or was he like, my God, man, I think I got a haunted doll? I don't know how it was said, because I don't know how the response is, oh, I'll come get it. Like, who do you know that could say that to you? I got a haunted doll with a noose around its neck to hold in the curse. It's really, really old, and it's definitely haunted. Come pick it up.
Don't do it.
Well, why would you?
Well, Mike, I'm a ghost guy. I hate dolls. I would never. Somebody says doll, I hang up the phone immediately.
But then he did. He did. And then he goes, you guys want to see it? And it's like, no. I think we're all going, nope, no, don't want to see it. No, don't want to see it. And he showed it to us.
Anyway. Yeah.
Have you forgot the way that doll looks? Because I haven't.
Oh,
I
no.
got it burned in my face. Like,
I'm taking credit for having him show the doll, because I did the research on him, and I knew about the doll, and I wanted him to show it to freak you out, because I know it would, because it's terrifying. it's really terrifying. Remember, I asked him because he's like he takes the doll to like Paracons and stuff, and I said, so when you're driving alone with the doll in the Jeep, be honest, do you talk to her? And he's like, well, no, not really, no. And I'm like, that means yes. That means you talk to this doll while you're driving around, and like that's sorry, no.
It's a doll.
I don't. So, all right, so we've had guests that we've liked all these guests. We just
I
they
love
do things we can't figure out. Here's one thing I've noticed though. Here's a topic that whenever it comes up, everybody like starts to either panic or they get like stern, and that's a Ouija board. No one seems to like Ouija boards. Well, some people love them, but then everybody else hates them. And the thing is this, what scares me most is whenever I talk to people about why they hate the Ouija board, it's like they claim that it has too much power. Right? That's kind of what they kind of say. Like you're supposed to, here's the thing we learned, you're supposed to close out every session by going to end. If you don't close out a session, you leave the board open and the quote unquote portal open. That was something we learned in one of our shows. So if you don't end it correctly, you still leave it open. It was made, and there was a lot of people that died, and it was haunted by a lot of weird things happened at the factory. This thing's been haunted and has bad luck attached to it since start to finish.
Mm-hmm.
Why do they keep making this freaking thing? Who is this for? What? It is made by like a toy company. So what's the deal, Parker Brothers or whoever it is?
Signed a deal with the devil.
No, I'm being serious, guys. They all talk about it like they're scared of it. Kev, why are they making something that's scaring paranormal people?
Yeah, well, I forgot who we had on the show, and I think it was a woman. She made a really good comment. She's like, "Isn't it the same thing as doing like a EVP session or any other session where you start trying to like talk to spirits?" And maybe the whole thing with the Ouija board is that it's people that are completely unprepared for what they might encounter. Whereas if you start doing EVP, you kind of know what you're getting into. Like if you had a Ouija board, probably the same as you do an EVP, but you got a bunch of 12-year-olds sitting around saying, "Oh, did you move it? Oh no, I didn't move it. Did you move it? Oh no." Like I think the problem is that it's being unleashed. Stab. It's being unleashed on like children that don't know what they're doing. I think that's the issue with it. It's like supposed to be like it's a toy, where I don't understand how that's a toy. Like when you describe a toy that doesn't really fit the bill. Like, hey, my toy lets you try to talk to spirits or dead people. My other toy is a ball you throw through a hoop. How are they even promoting?
I could never do that and trust that the other person wasn't moving it. I just couldn't. I couldn't trust that I wasn't moving it. Like it never worked for me. It was a waste of my time.
Have you ever done it?
Gaming. What?
Have you ever done it?
What, a Ouija board?
Yeah.
Of course. I had one at my mom's house. It used to be in the closet. I don't know why we have one. The Lebrys had one for a long time, and I used to just play it, never close it out, never do anything like that. But it never said anything. Like our Ouija board never said nothing. Look, Italians are we don't have patience, Kev. We're like moving that thing all around the board. We're like, this thing ain't working. We're not giving it a chance to say its words. We're like, what is this guy trying to say? What's he trying to tell me?
Unless it's predicting like lottery numbers off the bat.
Yeah,
you have no patience for it. No.
Listen, if we're gonna pay attention to a spirit, it better come out hot. You better come out with the top topics, and you better bring it, man. Because I ain't listening enough. If you're gonna start, if you're gonna give me that whole, ooh, let me tell you about. I'm like, click. I'm out. You better come out with, you're gonna die. You're gonna die. I'll be like, all right, what? Then you get my choice. Hey, buddy, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
So, what did you learn this year, or even more so? What did you go more towards believing that you didn't last year?
I definitely go UFOs. I was always like, yes, I think there's UFOs. We've had a little bit more definitive proof. Some people that are dedicated to, unfortunately, the science guest, dedicated to study and research on UFOs. Whereas, like things like Bigfoot, not to hate on the Bigfoot groups and the Bigfoot people out there, I haven't been sold yet. If not, I'm more unsold on Bigfoot because they start talking about Bigfoot, and then they talk about ghosts, and because there's not a lot to be said on Bigfoot because it's just not maybe there anymore.
I don't know. I'm not 100% sold that there isn't a Bigfoot. I'm not 100% sold that there is. So you know what I mean?
I could say I have a little bit more. I had faith in UFOs before, and Roswell and all that, the funny stuff that happened in the 50s and stuff. But it's a little bit more solid for me. It's a little bit more concrete. Where I'm always been a ghost guy.
See, I thought I saw a UFO. That's the only thing I've ever thought I've seen. That's what's weird to me, and it wasn't a big deal. Like it wasn't a big deal. I never talked about it. It was never a big deal. So that's the one that I've always thought could exist. It's the only one that when I sit and I think about it, it only makes sense. There has to be something else, right? Right. If we're even going in space, which is true, and they're not lying to us, we actually are going in space and doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
Then there's got to be other. There's too many stars, too many planets, too many things, too many ways for water to happen, for life to create. So there's got to be something.
Yeah,
the thing that scares me that is the people that believe that they're already here and they're among us. I'm being serious. Lizard people, things like that. What's it called? What are they called?
What?
The Illuminati.
Yeah.
The Illuminati, like they say that certain people are of, that kind of thing. Like, what do you guys think of that? And here's the thing. I always thought through evolution there had to be something different that kind of sparked with the whole monkey thing to get it to go our way more. Like I always think the missing link is going to be something that's non-ape, non-primate. I do. So I think that's almost where I've always believed that like aliens have come in. Like I think a lot of people think that there's a little something extra that was added to us to make us evolve the way we did. I mean, Kev, you're probably the most non-believing in that, but I mean, what do you think about that?
Look, I 1,000% believe that there are like other intelligent beings in the universe. I think anyone that doesn't believe that, I don't think is very intelligent because like the math and the odds are just totally in favor of it. Because if you say the universe is infinite and like we've been going for an infinite amount of time, or like how could there not be other intelligent beings? So that's number one. But like, are they visiting us? Is a second thing. And you have to assume that they are at least thousands of years ahead of us, because our capabilities in space are like, I don't want to say they're primitive. They're primitive compared to what you would have to do to come from another galaxy to get over to Earth and then have something in our atmosphere that's flying around observing us. What I don't understand is, why are they observing us? I guess the same way we study animals, you would study us, because that's how far behind we are. So, I don't think anyone can say conclusively whether there's been stuff here. I tend to believe there is. I think Phoenix Lights is probably one of the best examples you can see of something that's completely unexplained, that's huge, and was like observed by thousands of people over a long period of time. So that's the one I go by. But I don't know. I don't think anyone knows the purpose. I hate when everyone says, "Oh, they're all good." Why? When has a higher intelligent group met a lower intelligent group and just been benign and helpful? In our existence, never.
You were mean to Buddy first time you met him.
But you know what I mean? Like if we had stuff they needed, they would just take it. But so.
You want to hear my theory? I got theory.
Oh, go ahead.
All right. So I believe that there is a different missing link. It would probably be of alien life form that would have created what we are now. So why would aliens come back to observe? What if they were the ones that did the creation and they're just watching the whole like experiment play out?
Who's that?
I mean,
maybe.
Right? Oh, it's like watching a zoo in a sense. It's just checking in on the zoo. Oh, we put the zebras over there. Hope they didn't kick down the fence. Let's go look. Hey, where are the kangaroos? We lost the kangaroos. Oh, you know what I mean? Like that's just what it is when they come look at us. Like we made these guys, but look what they're doing. Look what they're doing, right? Because when did it start, dude? Again, when did it start? When did UFOs really start? After what happened, buddy? After what happened?
The use of atomic weapons in the Second World War.
So you got like, so hold on. So you guys don't believe? And look, the show Ancient Aliens is crazy. That guy, the Greek guy,
Honestly,
is nuts.
I know where you go. I believe that I've talked about medieval paintings about there being alien spacecraft, and I think it goes beyond the atomic age. I think it goes further back, and this is just man's way of documenting it over the years. So I think it's been around. I think they've been visiting us for some time. I just think it enhanced more with the atomic age.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And the other thing is, there's so many more people. There's so many more people that are able to observe, and now we all have like phones with cameras and video and stuff. But I believe kind of. The more I think about it, the theory of like somehow other DNA being introduced into the planet, into the human, whatever you want to call it, species. I kind of believe that more and more. And we had that guest on. I forgot her name, Jean, I think, from Texas, and she was all about that. She was that's kind of her main thing. And it's like some of it probably went a little too far for me, but I couldn't disagree with it. Like, otherwise. You got to believe that over millions and millions of years, some single-celled organism in the water evolved into you. Maybe that did happen. I don't know. I wasn't there. But I can see the other side of the argument, too.
I figured I have another arm by now. You know what I mean? Like a third arm, something. We haven't evolved for shit. There hasn't been nothing going on. We just got worse as a society. Other guests that we had that were
being a paranormal investigator, I've had a lot of paranormal investigators on it, and it's if anything, it's nice to see other people's techniques and other people's evidence or data that they collected in the field, whether it be in similar places that I've been to or places around the country. It's always interesting to hear somebody else's perspectives and methods in their madness.
Yep.
All right. Let's see. So we had that. We had some.
Can I mention one?
Oh, go ahead, Kev.
Yeah, I loved Carl Johnson and James Anito because like everyone loves to talk about demons now. Everything's a demon. Everything's a demon that you read about, and they were so level-headed. And Carl's been doing it for what, buddy? 40 years? 45 years?
He was one of the first ones in the Conjuring House.
Yeah.
The Warrens were, yeah.
And when he talks about it, he really only has, like I'm not diminishing, this is what he says, a handful of experiences that he thinks were really demons. And it shows how thorough he is. It shows how seriously he takes it all. It shows like how he doesn't embellish. He doesn't like, just tell a story for a story's sake or go to the demon direction. And I thought that was amazing because I think there's so many people out there that are just trying to sell a story, and seeing like Carl and James, they were too, and I think Carl's brother also. Like I love the people that are really focused on evidence and doing it right, and not jumping to conclusions. And like you said, like different techniques and different tools and all that stuff. And I like the demonologist stuff really interests me.
They were extremely good.
Duo demonology. That's James and Carl. So we have them individually. I probably have them together on the next show. But
we also had remember we had the paranormal couple?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I saw them recently, but they're
I thought they were nice kids.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, right?
Yeah.
They seem like they had a good thing going with each other. They seem like they're gonna move forward. Funny that I told him that he's going to end up with less than half of the paranormal power when they get divorced. That's such a miserable person that I am. But what I'm trying to say is, and you guys keep interrupting me because I'm going too slow, and you're just saying I'll get something. What I'm trying to say is, I noticed that there's a lot of conspiracy theorists amongst the paranormal people. Paranormal people are also very big into conspiracies. That's what I've learned. I kind of thought that. I've seen it. That is my belief. Would you guys agree to that?
I'm just being the paranormal people in the room. There's maybe two conspiracies that I could say, the theories that I could subscribe to. One, the government trying to cover up the evidence of UFOs in the 1940s and 50s and since then, and the JFK assassination. I wholeheartedly believe that Lee Harvey Oswald was not the sole gunman; that it was definitely government related, and those are honestly, being a fairly educated person, that's those are the only two that I really subscribe to.
There's literally so many more conspiracy theories that were true about tests and shit like that went down. Like, there's so much shit that's been done that like, I guess we're called conspiracy theories, but now they're just like facts that you gotta like Google to find out. Like, they don't come forward and tell us that this happened. They tested these guys for this and they ended up with this. So they gave syphilis to these people to see what could happen and all that bullshit. But like, Kev, what do you think? Like, did you notice that they were all conspiracy? They're the big conspiracy theory group.
Well, I think so. I think. Let me put it this way. I don't think
it's a tough word, right?
Like I don't think everyone believed in like 4 or 5 theories. I think some people believed in like almost everything, and other people believed in almost nothing. You know what I mean? Like I don't think like as a group you could say, oh well, you know, they believe these 6 or 7. But I think some people were just way out there, and everything was conspiracy, which, you know, I worry about. But on the other side of the spectrum, I think there's a lot, you know, like Buddy said, like, you know, if you're someone that thinks JFK, that's a conspiracy, you know, that's probably a reasonable one. Government covering up UFO sightings, that's definitely a reasonable one. But I don't think as a group, I would say every investigator is a conspiracy theorist, because we've had some people on that were so just like, if I can't document it, it didn't happen. If I can't, like, if I don't have evidence, it didn't happen. And that was, you know, that those are probably the people that I relate to the most.
I probably believe. Good.
Mike, being somebody that works in the mental health field, I see a lot of people who claim to have conspiracy theories and claim to have all sorts of thoughts on why the government does this and why this is happening now in the world or whatnot. And most of these people are like severely mentally ill. And that's one of the symptoms of their mental illness is paranoia and conspiracies, and everybody's against me. So I'm very skeptical when it comes to conspiracy theorism.
See, I there's some that I do subscribe to. There's some that I believe are ridiculous, but I think there's a lot more than you're paying attention to. Like, I think a lot go down that, like this. You know what? This whole Ghislaine Maxwell thing that's going on right now should be such big news. Because it's already been agreed that she's being, you know, tried for these things, doing these specific things, and so is he. Now, they had a huge clientele, right? They gotta have names of the clientele. Names have been coming out, but nothing's being done. This to me has been the weirdest event, because they're trying to swipe it under the rug. They act like it's happening like on another continent that you'll never know about. It's the weirdest type of thing. And there's people that don't want to hear it because the whole topic makes people uncomfortable, and they just don't want to even listen about it. So they're not even willing to learn. And then there's other people that are too fervent, and they make me want to tell them to fucking calm down. But I think it should be bigger news, and I really think that they should hold everybody accountable. And I feel like if they did that, oh my God, the names that would come out and the people that would have to go down for this. Kev, I don't think there would be anything like that in the history of mankind where something like this happened. And that's why I don't think it can happen.
Exactly. That I was going to say, that's exactly why it's not going to happen, because like, how do you prove it? Like, they have like supposedly the list of people that flew on the Lolita Express, and like those names are all big names. Clinton's on there, Trump's on there, like Prince, like some people from the royal family. I don't remember exactly the names, so I don't want to say it. But they have all these lists. But how do you prove what exactly happened? And like, the weird thing is that like this, like, Zoe Maxwell, she's going to take the fall, and she's going to go down for being like a wrangler of the girls, and she should go down for that. That's disgusting. And I was talking to my girlfriend about it, and she's like, how does like an adult woman wrangle teenage girls to be used in this kind of like system or whatever you want to call it. Like, it's disgusting, and she should go down for that. But you're not going to get a list of names. You're not going to get 40 guys that get prosecuted and go down because they're going to be like, we don't have enough. We don't have a witness. We don't have this. We don't have that. Like,
But
they're still running the world, and that's why like it's not even news. Like, she's on trial right now. Nobody knows about it.
But there's been witnesses that have come forth and said they've seen X, Y, and Z. And even on that documentary, there's people that said they saw this so and so sitting by the pool. Like, I just feel like if you've flown there a couple times, I mean, you remember Trump's statement on him? We don't talk anymore, blah blah. And then for no reason, Trump could have just shut up like he's supposed to. He went, he likes him young. Remember? Remember that comment? He actually said that.
I'm laughing because it's a Trump comment, not because the statement itself is disgusting.
Yeah,
because the way he talks. The statement itself is disgusting.
He was thinking it, and it just comes out of his mouth. He can't stop himself. So he says it, and he likes him young. It's like, what?
Yeah. But what you're going to get is, okay, so Buddy's a $600 an hour lawyer. Maybe for this case, he's an $850 an hour lawyer, and he's going to say King was sitting by the pool. That's all he did. He and Epstein had a business deal and this and that. And he went down there to talk business and he left. Prove otherwise. Like, that's the way it's going to go.
You want to have some fun with this, though? All right. The lawyer for the guy, the Italian cop guy that was roommates with Epstein, the guy who flipped, right? His roommate that said he was all right, and then he came back and he was dead. That big muscular guy. His lawyer now represent Ghislaine Maxwell. Let that roll around your head for a couple seconds.
Yeah.
How do you make that jump from client to client? Who gave you that business card?
Yeah, exactly. It's insane.
Doesn't that bother you? Doesn't that not bother you that the lawyer for this guy who had nothing to do with anything, that just happened to be roommates with what's his face, she now goes and represents Ghislaine Maxwell?
Yeah, all of it bothers me. If you go through this to the beginning, and like you look at the first prosecution and how aggressive Epstein was in his defense, he attacked the prosecutors. He found dirt on all prosecutors, and you should read about it because it's crazy. And he settled everything. And they had an agreement that he would never get prosecuted again in that district for those crimes. Somehow, like a new set of federal prosecutors went through it and were like, "What the hell happened here?" and found loopholes to re-prosecute him, or he would have been off completely scot-free. Like, that first deal he signed, you should read it. You want to be disgusted? You want to throw up? Read the first deal that he signed with the prosecutors.
Oh, no, I saw that one. I saw what he signed. Like, he couldn't be prosecuted for anything else after that or something like that. Some ridiculous thing. Nuts.
And, like, luckily a second set of prosecutors were like, this can't stand. We're going to find another way in to prosecute. And that's what they did.
And, you know, the threat of having someone dig up dirt on you, I long ago once said to the wife, look, if anyone ever starts to dig up dirt on me, which there's plenty of it, there's got to be a ton of it, and they just start to like throw it on the news or in my face, all I'm going to do is accept it, say, yeah, that's what I did, and then just shut the TV off and maybe watch like a Family Guy. Like that's how I'm going to handle it. If I ever get like you know how the cancel culture comes after you, literally all you do is shut your phone off, get off the computer, and then go live your life. Like, wait a couple months, come back, see how things are. Like, why would you don't get wrapped up in the whole thing? Don't get wrapped up in the whole thing.
There's certain kinds of dirt though, like the Epstein dirt. You can't take that attitude with. But if it's like, hey, you did something stupid, or there's a million things you could do that aren't that serious that you could get canceled for. I agree, completely ignore it. But if someone comes at you and they're like, you were abusing kids, you can't just turn on you're going down for that, as you should. So,
I know they always talk to the clients and they tell them how to be, how to act, all that good stuff, right? Because I was watching that. What's that kid's name? Wesseltoff, the shooting, the kid with the gun. What was his name? I mean, serious. What is his name? whatever it was. And I was just watching the way he was reacting in the thing. Like he had to be a certain way. And I was like, if they ever accuse me of something like say like the kid thing, I think the whole time I was in court, I'd be like, I didn't do that. I didn't. I did the whole time. They'd be like, "Would you please calm your I didn't do that shit though. Like, because if I didn't do something, you accuse me of it. Ask my wife. I'm like, I didn't do that shit. Like, if I did, I'll be like, I don't think I did that. But if I didn't do it, I'm always like, I didn't do it. So
yeah, like especially something like that. Like I agree. There's some things where
the last one. What do you think about the whole? It's the last thing I want to end with is the Andrew. What's his name? The guy that he said Sandy Hook was fake. And that's what got him in trouble. But other than that, no. What's his name? You know the guy, Alex.
Alex Jones.
All right, Alex Jones. Now, only thing Alex Jones did get right though is he snuck into that Bilderberg thing, where Hillary Clinton and all them dress like whatever, and they have a big owl that is a big statue, and they all pray to it. They do rituals. There's actually footage of him getting in there. He got in there, and that's the actual real footage of them praying at the altar of this owl. And then he got a hold of someone got a hold of this British guy. Like, here's the thing: British royalty, they still don't get it, and they get caught up. Like when they interviewed Prince Andrew, and he's like, "Couldn't have been me. I don't sweat. I didn't sweat. No, for those 3 years, I didn't sweat. Oh, for those 3 years, you just didn't sweat? We're supposed to believe that, right?" So this other guy was. They go, we snuck in on your Bilderberg things. We saw you praying to the god owl, but whatever. And what do you think of that? And he's like, "You should be ashamed of yourself for breaking in and, something you're not invited to." And it's like, that's not how you answer it. You're supposed to go, "No, that never happened. What are you talking about? Get out of here. You're crazy." You don't say, "Hey, shame on you for breaking in," when you're not supposed to. So that one freaked me out. That one always bothers me a little. And they had the meeting again this year, but it was at a different place. It's all like the main people. And 1 year, what's the term for it? When it shows all what you got to do all that day. Starts with an I.
Itinerary.
There it is. Itinerary. That one got out 1 year, and it was really weird. They talked about population. They talked about like things that were like messed up. I'm not lying about this shit either. It's out there. It's really true. Like there is that they do get together once a year. And finally, Bill Gates creates Windows, right? And he's he's in his sweater and his jeans, no belt, sneakers, right? Maybe like New Balance because he's practical. And he builds windows and he does all that stuff, right? And then all of a sudden, we get like this whole thing happen where people get sick. Suddenly, Bill Gates is making cures. I'm like, how did the computer geek get involved with making cures? How does that happen? Like again, that's a job transfer of a. It's like a garbage man becoming like. A garbage man, like flying to Africa and digging up fossils. You know what I mean? Like really getting deep into the dirt. It doesn't happen. You don't get promoted like that. It's never happened. You don't just laterally shift like that. Kev, you know what I'm saying? Does anyone know what I'm saying?
I don't think he was like actually doing the research on the cures, but buddy, go ahead.
I think honestly I lean with the philanthropy card, if anything, with Bill Gates, but it is a little weird.
You guys remember Walden Books?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Did you guys ever go in Walden Books and not have to pee? Like the minute I walked into Walden Books, I had to pee. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was just the books, but I would go in there. I'm like, I gotta go to the bathroom.
I don't.
Immediately. You ever not ever happened? Never.
No.
I have no recollection of that.
Really?
But with Gates, I thought you were going to go a completely different direction. I thought you were going to go with some of the stories from that are coming out with the whole divorce. But we'll
the
leave.
Epstein thing? Yeah. No.
We'll leave that for the show.
The wife made sure that it's written in the divorce papers, and this is true, that it says that she was suspicious and against his relationship, Bill Gates, with Jeffrey Epstein. It's in the divorce papers. She literally states that. She wants to make sure that it's stated so that she's like a clean cut from it. I'm telling you, she knows the shit that could go down, and she wants no part of that, Kev. Just like the royal family was like, what's his face? When I don't sweat. Dude, You know what? An English guy who's all pasty, he looks like he doesn't eat right, smokes cigarettes all day long, telling me he doesn't sweat. My friend, I would like to disagree. I'm willing to bet if we ate a hot box, you might be sweating even before an Italian, which is tough to do, Kev. Tough to do.
Doesn't eat right. Smokes cigarettes all day.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
But anyway, so these are the conspiracy theories. Bilderberg Group does meet every year. I have not seen those videos. I have to find those, but I know Bilderberg meets like every year, and it is all like the big heavy hitters that you were talking about. But I've never heard about praying at the altar of an owl. So.
Yeah, that's a video. That's true. That is true though. He did. They do credit him with getting in on that. Like that actually was true that he broke in onto that. They did do that. What else before we wrap it up? Are there anything else that I believe in as far as conspiracy theories? Here's one: scratch tickets. You know when you get like a 9 or in like a 25 and then like I don't know 24 and like 32, and like then the first row is like if you have a 25 it'll be 5. It'll be like and then if you had like a 22 or it'll be 23. This old guy Don Placido, who he is my master. Like, he was the greatest mind screwer if anybody ever met. You're in the Boys and Girls Club. And he told me that if they start teasing you on the first line like that, you're not going to win. And he's right every damn time. If you have a 19, they give you like a 29 right off the bat or a 9 just to bust your balls. You never, ever win those tickets.
So your theory is that the like the bottom part of the ticket where you might win, it's not random. Like they're trying to F with you. Like they're trying to make you get within one.
Yes. Yep. Yes. And it's true. It works out. Every time they're teasing you, it's dead on. So I'm going to leave you with this. So I worked at the Boys and Girls Club, right? And there was this one kid, I won't say his name. Let's call him Jake, because that's not his name. He was, a little bit hefty, really smart, but really neurotic. So he comes to me, he goes, Mike, I can use the bathroom. It was during lunch. Now, during lunch, there's cafe. You go outside, concrete, thing. All the kids are on tables, like, those big tables. We're sitting as a row up against the wall, right? Comes up and goes, Mike, I gotta use the bathroom. Go ahead, Jay, go do it, right? Goes to the bathroom. He comes out about maybe 10, 15 minutes later. Now he walks by us on his way to the kids, and there's shit smeared from the top of his head all the way down to his ankles. The whole back of him is shit covered. I go, Jay, come here. I pull him inside. I go, dude, what happened? He goes, what do you mean? I go, what do you mean what I mean? The shit smeared all over you. It's all down your back. Oh, I don't know, Mike. I don't know. I'm like, dude. So I've had to find clothes to the kid, right? It's an all-day affair. Parents come. They can't figure it out. He's like, I threw the toilet paper roll over the thing, and then I went to go grab it. It smeared my back. And I'm like telling the parents, like, this can't happen. I can't be part of this. Like, I can't clean shit off this kid. I'm not that kind of guy. Like, you know what I mean? So we talk all afternoon. I leave late from work that night. I go home. We talked all about it. Next day at work, and this is the God's honest truth. He comes up to me and goes, Mike, I'm going to use the bathroom. I go, Jake, remember we talked about roll your shirt up. You got it covered. Attaboy.
How old is Jake?
It'll be about 11, 12, 13.
All right.
Comes out of the bathroom, walks by me. Shit is smeared from the top of his head to his ankles. I know. Right now, my mind becomes insane and just leaves. And I'm like, Jake. He comes out. I'm like, you know what? Here's what's funny. Here's this poor kid, right? That's got so many issues that he's smearing shit all over himself. But here's me thinking that it's like, that it's poor me, not him. I'm going, dude, like, as if, like, you're putting me through, like, I got to deal with this shit. Like, what am I supposed to do with this? And, like, this kid must have issues, Kev, because he's smearing shit top of his head down to his ankles. I'm like, how do you even do that? I said, are you rolling in it long ways? Like, are you, like a roller of paint? Like, how are you managing to get it from the top of your head to your ankles? I could do that if I tried. I could probably get 2 spots tops. Tops. And that's trying, Kev. Yeah, that's what I dealt with. Parents came, something happened. He was never allowed to use the bathroom again. Yeah, because you know why? We could not afford to have him come out of the bathroom with shit smeared from the top of his head to the bottom of his ankles.
It's one hell of a shit stain, man.
That's a true story, by the way. How do you make you feel? How you guys feel right now?
I don't feel bad. I see people smear shit, eat shit all day long. So
all right, wait.
your shit story is nice.
Same kid goes to the beach. Same kid goes to the beach.
Stop.
Right?
All right.
I help him. I put the towel down for him. Wait, I'm not done. It's a good one. Wait. I got a good one. I put the towel down. He's eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Does he put it down on the blanket? No. Where's he put it? In the sand. What's he do? Pick it up and eat it. What's he do? Put it back down. Where? On the blanket? No. In the sand. He's eating at one point this lump of muddy peanut butter dirt. And am I telling him not to? Hell no. I'm a horrible person. I'm going, Ray, he's going to really eat this whole thing. Kev, all right.
I don't want to bring us back to the focus of the show, which is paranormal, but I'm not quite sure the paranormal component of that story.
There's not one.
Shit is always fun to talk about,
Kev, basically what it is that our guest Leslie Mitchell Clarke did not show up because of Micah Dank. Micah Dank must have told her not to go on the show. They decided not to do it. So now I'm telling stories about kids covered in shit because they decided not to join us. And I hate when someone doesn't want to join you if they have something they want to say. You know what I mean? If you want to say something, join us. We walk away with no hard feelings. We weren't the ones that came off looking like we were, you know the word I'm looking for. So, I mean, like, we're just doing what we're doing. And now I had to start working out because of what he said. Like, yeah, man, I'm getting up early in the morning, 4:30, just because of him. I'm pounding Diet Cokes, 2-liter bottles, just banging them back. And then I'm blowing smoke into the camera. I do that for a half hour. I bang Coke for another half hour, Kev. Oh, what a workout I'm doing, kid.
Ooh.
He taught me the way. And then you know what happens? I make meetings with people and I don't show up. That's what I've been doing. That's what I've been doing. You guys got anything to say before we wrap this sucker up?
It's been a lovely show. Thanks for joining us, Leslie, and not actually showing up. So that was good. If you like UFOs and you like all things alien, be sure to tune in next week for our guest, Jean Broider, who will be joining us yet again and talking about the top 10 U.S. UFO court cases. That's her book. And all things UFO here in the country. She was a fantastic guest the first time. I'm anxious to hear her talking.
How are we going to slow Jean down this time?
Put it in terms of like, I don't have to fall back.
We're going to slow Jean down this time.
Maybe have some lights, some red and some green, and be like, stop, go.
Because I want to get more questions out of her. Kev, any last words?
I love the trip down memory lane, except for the final Jake story. I like the conspiracy stuff, the investigation stuff, UFO stuff, all that. I apologize to the viewers. If anyone stuck around long enough to hear about Jake, my apologies.
Awesome.
Funny thing is, I have so many of those stories, man. I could talk for hours. That's why
talk forever about shit. I think it's hilarious.
You know, it is like if people don't want to show up, people don't want to, do things. I can't force them. Who am I to force them?
Right.
I don't really care that much. I have more fun talking to you guys, if I'm being honest. Guys, this was Legit Paranormal on December 5th, 2021. Only 20 days left till Christmas. Let's see. Our next show is tomorrow night, hosted by TheGenius Kev from 8 to 9. It's Legit Fantasy Basketball. I've actually been doing really well with my picks on that. 3 out of 4, you make some money. Tune in for that. We're doing well. After that, we got a Wednesday wrestling and then, some other stuff other than that. So, for buddy there, TheGenius Kev, it is me, Mike Lepre, King Michael. This was Legit Paranormal, brought to you by LegitPodcast.com. with or without a guest, we are out.